Salut à toutes et à tous, c'est Herminia et Sach, on se retrouve pour la 3e partie de l'acte 1 de l'histoire de Shenhe sur Genshin Impact. Et du coup, on devait attendre le jour suivant entre 8h et midi. Donc bien évidemment, on va avancer le temps, hein. Doutez bien. Ça va plus vite. Et le jeu nous l'autorise. Ah! Ouais, non, d'accord, ok. De toute façon, ça va relativement vite, hein, de passer le temps sur Genshin Impact. Hein.
Master has relayed my situation to you, I take it.
Oh? How did you know?
I'd intended to wait until you came back before going to sleep, but I didn't hear you come in. I was worried that something may have happened to you, so I went outside to check and caught sight of my master. On top of this, you have been acting very strangely around me this morning, causing me to suspect that my master must have told you everything about me. After all, Master is very talkative.
Sorry, Shenhe. Paimon had you down as an adeptus this whole time, but it turns out Paimon was wrong.
It's okay. I don't mind. The fault is mine for not explaining everything to you sooner, because in my experience, trying to explain is a futile pursuit. Still, though you mistook me for an adeptus, you never treated me as distant and unapproachable. Instead, you treated me as you would a friend. For this, I am very grateful indeed.
To be fair, we've met our fair share of real adepti, too. Anyway, now it's settled. From now on, you're our friend. Whether you're an adeptus or a human isn't the important thing. First and
Got it. Although I don't know quite what it entails in terms of what I have to do, I must say I like the title friend very much indeed.
Great! Well, now that we're all rested up, we should start searching for the other 2 items on the list. But before we do that, let's go to the building site and ask Ningguang's little helper how the progress is going. After all, Sunset Vermilionite is so rare. Paimon doubts many competitors will really be able to find any. If it turns out some of them have given up already, we'll be able to take things a little more slowly. Oh, and another thing. We bought some grilled chicken drumsticks on the way back last night. There was a place just outside. Here's one for you, Shenhe. Try it. They're so good.
I concur. It has a rich flavor, far more agreeable than those I've cooked for myself in the wilderness in the past.
Qui parle de bouffe, hein, comme d'habitude. Hein. Vous connaissez Paimon et la bouffe. Hein. Et regardez, ils sont en train de le reconstruire, ça y est. Hein. Regardez ça. Ils sont en train de le reconstruire. Ils sont en train de reconstruire la chambre de Jade. On va essayer de voir si on peut aller voir ça. Parce que là, il y a une échelle. Potentiellement, on peut aller voir. On va aller voir cette chambre de Jade qui se reconstruit. Je vais aller vous la montrer. Ah, on peut pas... Ah non, bah non, finalement, on peut pas monter dessus. Bon bah tant pis. Qu'est-ce qu'il nous dit, lui? Il nous dit rien. Wow. On la voit mieux d'ici. On la voit mieux d'ici. Elle est beaucoup plus jolie, hein. Franchement, il n'y a pas à dire. Bon, du coup, ça va être en dessous de la chambre de Jade. Je suppose qu'il va falloir discuter avec la secrétaire. Putain, regardez-moi ces gros câbles là. On dirait qu'ils sont en train de construire une montgolfière tellement les câbles ils sont gros.
Look! The Jade Chamber is floating into the sky! But it seems to be tied down by something.
That's because it's not finished.
Hey, Bywin! And hey, Beto! And hey! Person Paimon doesn't know?
Given the enormous scale of the Jade Chamber, we split the construction work into 2 phases to make sure the structure remains balanced. Before we find some suitable plastrite, we build the Jade Chamber's keel at ground level. Once the plastrite is ready, we place it into the keel and let the partially constructed Jade Chamber rise up to the height of the surrounding mountain peaks. The remainder of the construction work is then carried out at that altitude. Once everything is ready, we release the iron tethers and allow the Jade Chamber to rise to its target altitude.
Miss Bywin, we've brought some new materials to submit.
One moment, I'll be right there. The construction work has only been able to progress this rapidly thanks to the plastrite provided by you. Lady Ningguang is most grateful and looks forward to seeing more of your work.
Wow, can't believe you sourced the plastrite so quickly. It's the key piece of the puzzle. Looks like you beat us to the punch.
Beto? You're joining the Jade Chamber contest too?
Sure am. I happened to get my hands on a chunk of sunset vermilionite on a voyage a while back, so I figured I'd bring it over.
Huh. So even though it's rare, we're not the only ones who managed to get a hold of it.
Oh, I've got some introductions to do. This is the renowned Miss Yun, or Yunjin, probably the most famous figure in the Liyue opera scene.
Greetings.
On l'a déjà rencontré, hein, rappelez-vous.
These two are Paimon and the Traveler, both good buddies of mine. And this is, sorry, not sure we've met.
Shenhe. I am there.
Good to meet you. A friend of a friend is my friend too. Or, as I like to say, a mate of a crewmate is part of the crew. Miss Yun is also here for the contest. Turns out she needed to borrow a boat, so we came together.
It's an honor to finally meet you both. I've heard much about you. Miss Shenhe, though we are only meeting for the first time, I have a feeling that we will get along very well indeed. To be honest with you all, I am in great need of this opportunity to ask Lady Ningguang a question. That's why I joined the contest. Thanks to my father's connections, I was able to acquire a specimen of the plastrite required. Wow! So it looks like the 3 of us are competitors now. Excuse me for prying, Miss Shenhe, but are you competing as well?
No, I don't have any questions for Ningguang. I just wanted to help her win.
In that case, I have a proposal to make. Lady Ningguang said that the first 3 contestants to procure all 3 materials will be awarded the chance to ask a question. Well, instead of competing against each other, we could work together to secure the top 3 places between us. What do you think? Sounds great, but how does that change things exactly?
I think I see where you're going with this, Miss Yun. The plastrite was the most difficult item to source by a long shot. Luckily, all 3 of us managed to get our hands on it. The 2 remaining items aren't quite so rare, so as long as one of us finds a way to source it, the other 2 can How'd I do? Is that what you had in mind?
Precisely.
Huh. Interesting approach.
Okay then. All right, I'll go first. I have some leads on these wonder cores. From what I've heard, the core itself is really not that difficult to make. The hard part is getting hold of the ore used as raw materials. I'm gonna head back to the ship and ask Suling if he's heard of them. You guys...
We will head into town and seek advice from Master Zhang of Hanfeng's Ironmongers. Thoughts?
Oui, allons-y.
Wonderful. We'll split into teams then, and whoever makes progress first brings all of us a step closer to victory. I'm gonna take off. See you later.
Okay, let's go! By the way, what question are you gonna ask Ningguang, Yunjin? I'm looking for a venue to host the performance of our new opera. Lady Ningguang has excellent judgment, so I would like to hear her opinion. Ooh, what's the opera called? Paimon wants to go see it. The opera is a labor of love by my father. He wrote it based on a popular urban legend about an evil spirit and an adeptus. It's called The Divine Damsel of Devastation.
Questionner maître Zang des noyaux des merveilles. Alors, on va se TP. C'est beaucoup plus simple quand on se TP. Hein. Franchement, il n'y a pas photo. Ça va vite. Et on peut continuer la quête tranquillement. Posé. Sans se prendre la tête. Hop, on va faire ça. Hop là.
Ah, hello. Are you here for something off the shelf, or do you need something forged?
Excuse me, Master Zhang. We were wondering if you'd heard of something called a Wonder Core.
Of course I have. Sorry,
My name is Yunjin. Perhaps you don't know me, but I believe that you forged some weaponry for my father in the past, for stage use.
Yunjin? Stage use? Oh, so you must be Miss Yoon. Sorry, my brain's finally caught up. It's not used to doing much beyond bashing a hammer all day. Everyone's heard of you, Miss Yoon, even folks who don't make it to the opera all that often. So, you're here to ask about Wonder Cores, huh? As it happens, I do know how to make them. Matter of fact, I made some for Lady Ningguang back when she was building the original Jade Chamber. The types of ore needed to make Wonder Cores are a little hard to come by. Lady Ningguang supplied them herself last time. I don't suppose you've brought any yourselves?
No, we were gonna ask you what kinds of ore we need.
Sure. Well, you'll need two kinds. Star Splinter Iron and Subrosium.
Bah, le fer de brise étoile, je l'ai. Le subrosium, je sais pas ce que c'est.
If I remember correctly, Lady Ningguang sourced her Star Splinter Iron from the Mount Tianheng area. They say it resonates with visions. It could take some work, but if you stick with it, you'll find some eventually. As for the Subrosium, though, that's tricky. I'm really not sure. Sorry. What I've heard is that the people around Mount Tianheng have some sort of magic trick that can pinpoint the location of the stuff. Of course, it's probably just hearsay. If you want my advice, start by looking for Star Splinter Iron around Mount Tianheng. If you run into any locals, ask them a few questions about Subrosium.
Mount Tianheng.
Interestingly enough, the story of the Divine Damsel of Devastation also takes place on that mountain. I hear the view there is quite spectacular. A favorite destination of the Adepti, in fact. Perhaps it can give me some inspiration. Let's not delay. We should head straight there.
Ok, en route pour les monts Tianheng. Oh bah on a TP vraiment juste à côté quoi. Autant pas s'embêter. Allez hop, c'est juste là en plus.
to Mount Tianeng once with my father as a child. I remember it being such a long climb that I could barely feel my legs by the time we reached the top. This is quite a trip down memory lane for me. Look at these majestic, towering peaks. And the gently... No wonder the legend of the divine damsel of devastation is said to have taken place here. Adepti wander oft where mortals seldom stride. Indeed, this looks like a place that one might expect to be frequented by adepti. The Divine Damsel of Devastation is your upcoming opera, right? And the story takes place in Mount Tianheng. Huh. Seems like you have a real connection with this place. What's the story about, though?
It's the story of a girl becoming a hero.
Cool. A hero story? They're Paimon's favorite.
The legend first arose in this area. It is said that there used to be a prosperous village on the mountain. In that village, there was a loving couple who were completely devoted to one another. The wife was out collecting herbs and was captured by the monster. Her husband was so distraught at the news that it broke his spirit and drove him to madness. The vile and vicious monster told the villagers, "If you want to live, you must sacrifice a child to me."
What a nasty piece of work. Paimon sure hopes this monster gets put in its place.
But the monster was so terrible and so strong that all within the village were terrified of it. They had no just while they were discussing whose child would be given over to the monster, a little girl suddenly stood up and came forward.
No, don't do it, little girl.
Unbeknownst to anybody else, she was concealing an exorcist's blade. She approached the monster's lair, feigning fear and trepidation. When she finally arrived, she courageously drew her sword and entered into a fierce struggle with the monster, from which her extraordinary abilities drew the attention of the adepti, and they took her as one of their own. Her story became the stuff of legends. But alas, the paths of mortals and adepti seldom cross, and she would never again re-enter the mortal world. And so, destined to grace the mortal realm for but a brief moment, she vanished like a wisp of smoke into thin air. That's how the opera ends.
Regardez Shenhe.
I really like this story. But I personally think that perhaps the little girl was not as brave as the opera makes her out to be. I'm not sure she deserves all the praise she is given.
I've never considered that before. Opera is always an interpretation of the events it purports to portray. A certain degree of deviation from the truth is always inevitable. When my father wrote the script for this play, I suppose his intention was to inspire his audience with the character.
I think it's a great story. The ideal story.
Well, it sure inspired Paimon. Let's go get ourselves some Star Splinter Iron. Yeah!
Utilisez les yeux divins pour trouver du fer de brise-étoile. Alors, on va regarder aux alentours. Peut-être que c'est ça, je sais plus. Je sais plus. Je ne sais plus. Non, ça c'est les sous-géos. On va essayer de les récupérer parce que c'est vrai que on n'en trouve pas souvent. Hop. Bah peut-être que c'est en haut finalement. Parce que la zone est pas très grande. Il y a les mobs. La statue. Je vois rien pour le moment. À moins que ce soit ça là. Ah bah voilà, c'en était. Et ça doit en être un aussi là-bas. Ouais. Ouais. Parfait.
No star splendor iron. Now we just need to find that Subrosium.
I think I saw a village on our way here. Master Zhong said we should ask the locals for help. Why don't we try there?
Et ben on va interroger les gens. Et comme on n'est pas trop loin, on va y aller en volant.
Hey, there really is someone here. Yunjin, looks like you were right. Excuse us, sir. Can we ask you something?
On le connaît lui.
Huh. He didn't seem to catch that.
Hello, sir. We were just passing by and wanted to ask if you happen to know anything about Subrosium.
J'ai plutôt l'impression qu'il est muet.
Is he trying to tell us to look for clues in the village? Well, whatever. Guess we're on our own here. Shenhe, Yunjin, let's have a look around.
Sorry, you can go ahead without me. I'd like to have a word with this gentleman. If that's okay with you, Uncle Mingjin.
Ah, c'est son oncle. Bah d'accord.
It's
Shenhe.
Shenhe. You're alive. The rumors were true. So, all these years? I'm sorry, I don't know how to find Subrosium, but I think you can find some information in the village. This place is deserted now. No one ever comes here. So you can rummage around all you want.
Huh? You know this guy, Shenhe?
Thank you, kind sir. We'll go and take a look around. Don't worry. Mingjin has no ill intention towards Miss Shenhe. She'll be quite safe.
Okay, then let's see what we can find in this village.
Ouais, on va aller visiter le village pendant qu'elle fait une petite conversation avec son oncle. Bah, ça nous conseille là, mais là, il n'y a rien. Les documents. Ah, là. Il y a une fée que j'ai pas récupérée. Il y en a pas passement vite. Oh. Bon bah faut que je vous lise.
Of a god, an
Ah bah.
abandoned village, Mount Tianheng.
Je vous relirai ce qu'elle a dit. Il y avait jadis une famille au village de Konda, issue d'un clan d'exorcistes qui fut frappé par une tragédie. En seulement une dizaine de jours, la mère fut emportée par la maladie et la jeune fille disparut sans laisser de traces. Peu de temps après cela, le père de famille se pendit à un arbre dans la cour. Les enquêtes permirent de découvrir des traces indiquant l'apparition de restes de divinités maléfiques dans le village. Les villageois vivaient dans l'angoisse, n'étaient pas certains de savoir si les restes de divinités étaient toujours présents dans le village. Sans autre choix que de déménager, ils s'en allèrent. À ceux qui pénètrent dans ces lieux, prenez garde. Les restes de divinités, un village abandonné près des monts Tianheng.
Does this mean that the true story of the divine damsel of devastation happened right here, in this village? The time frame certainly matches, so it seems we're in the right area. Let's keep looking around.
On va regarder de nouveau dans les environs. Alors, bah, toujours par là, donc il va me le dire s'il y a un document. Oh mais, hey, Shongyun, arrête tes conneries. Mais, arrête! Il y a un document là? Non, il n'y en a pas. Peut-être un là, je sais pas. Je vois pas. Il y a un truc à briser en tout cas. Là, il y a un coffre. On récupère.
What's this?
Bon, allez, c'est reparti pour lire. Le docteur a dit que ta maladie était grave. Ne t'en fais pas, je te soignerai. Mais si je dois me défaire de toutes mes possessions familiales, mon cœur saigne quand je te vois t'affaiblir de plus en plus, sans que les remèdes n'arrangent quoi que ce soit, comme j'aimerais pouvoir souffrir à ta place. Tu dis que tu as vécu ta vie sans regret, et que ton seul souhait est que je m'occupe bien de Shenhe. Mais si tu n'as aucun regret, pourquoi pleures-tu? Je ne sais plus où j'en suis. Je continue de vivre en errant sans but. J'ai lu tous les textes anciens sur lesquels j'ai pu mettre la main, cherchant des moyens de te sauver, sans que cela à quoi que ce soit aboutisse à quoi que ce soit. Je l'ai trouvé, le livre qui pourrait te sauver. Il s'avérait que Mingjun le gardait en cachette. Je me suis emparé du livre et ai suivi les instructions qui y figurent pour invoquer un dieu et lui offrir un sacrifice. Le dieu apparut, je lui ai dit que je voulais échanger ma vie contre la tienne. Il est resté silencieux et a montré notre fille Shenhe du doigt. Le dieu a dit qu'elle était une enfant maudite et que si elle restait en vie, elle ferait du mal à ses proches. Selon lui, elle pourrait même entraîner ma mort. Alors, j'ai pensé que la meilleure chose à faire... Je l'ai laissée dans la grotte que m'a indiqué le dieu. Après 3 jours, je n'ai toujours pas eu de nouvelles. Attendre de la sorte me rendait impatient et agité. J'ai un mauvais pressentiment. Je suis indigne de Shenhe et indigne de toi. J'ai été si stupide. Laissez-moi vous rejoindre. Je vais vous présenter mes excuses en personne. C'est triste quand même, hein. Il s'est fait avoir par un dieu, hein, quand même. C'est peut-être la véritable histoire de la divine damoiselle de la dévastation.
So, Shenhe is the divine damsel? Now that I think about it, she does behave rather like an adeptus, and she is about the right age. So that's why I've been getting the strangest feeling whenever I chat with her. I should have noticed it earlier. According to this text, the divine damsel from the opera was actually the daughter of the loving couple. And she didn't volunteer. She was sacrificed to the monster by her own... Oh, the truth is even more lamentable than the opera. Now I understand why Shenhe said the girl was not as brave as people think. It wasn't her choice to enter that ghastly situation. She was forced into it. It looks like my father may need to make a few revisions to his beloved opera.
Je crois bien aussi, oui.
We've looked everywhere, but still no mention of Sabrosium. Let's have a look over there.
Ah, attends, c'est une toute petite zone rikiki. Alors, ça va être compliqué. Je crois qu'il faut monter là, je pense. Ouais. Encore monter peut-être. Ouais. On va récupérer... On va récupérer le petit succès. Méli-mélo sur les montagnes. La magie scellée dans le sobrosium ne se dissipe pas facilement. Certains pensent que ce minerai est un lien entre les vivants et les morts. Mais trouver du sobrosium n'est pas chose aisée. Il faut être au bon endroit au bon moment. La légende veut que si l'on se tient au milieu du lac au sud des monts Tianeng, au crépuscule, on puisse trouver du sobrosium en regardant dans la direction du coucher du soleil.
So basically, we need to go to the middle of the lake south of Mount Tianheng at dusk, and we'll find us some sobrosium. Let's go back and tell Shenhe the news.
Et nous, on va se laisser là pour cette partie 3 de l'acte 1 de l'histoire de Shenhe. N'hésitez pas à vous abonner si ce n'est pas déjà fait, à activer la cloche de notification, à rejoindre les réseaux sociaux, donc Twitter, Facebook, Discord et maintenant TikTok. Si vous voulez faire un petit don, vous avez différents liens le pot commun. Celui qui aura le goal rempli, eh bien, sera fait en priorité sur la chaîne. Et vous avez aussi Tipeee, où vous pouvez faire des dons aussi, il y a un petit objectif. Sinon, vous pouvez regarder les clips Tipeee, vous allez jusqu'à 1 minute, vous pouvez le faire sur tous vos appareils, et ça me donne 3 centimes par clip visionné. Voilà. C'est terminé, SH mes petits Rayquaza, prenez soin de vous, bye bye.